Hi, I'm James from H2O Sports. Here we are on our first interviews with Nick Dempsey regarding wing foiling, the new crazy sport that's taking off around the country and world, which is a combination of kiting, windsurfing, foiling and surfing, all packaged into one new exciting sport. It's been around for a while, but again, only the last couple of years really in this spotlight of the water sports industry.
Hi, I'm Nick Dempsey. I'm a past Olympic windsurfer, now winging an awful lot. I've spent a lifetime windsurfing and going to the Olympic Games for the past 5 Olympic Games, and then I've spent the past 4 years coaching the Olympic Japanese team, and now we're going into a bit more winging. Okay, so why winging? I started winging whilst away coaching actually in Melbourne about a year ago today, and it was one of those sports I looked at, and of course it looks a bit funny, it looks a bit gooky, but it's one of those things you've actually got to get on and get going. And I'd done a bit of windsurfing foiling, but it wasn't until I'd had a go in Melbourne. I actually had a few goes, and I was like, "Ooh, this is quite good. It's quite good. It's not bad. It's quite good." But then as you progress, you suddenly start to unlock what wing foiling is all about, and really, for me, it's all about the ease, the fact that I can pack it all up in one bag, travel anywhere in the world. I can get on any BA flight. It's important to me to be able to get on the BA flight with a bag the right size. And you can go in any condition. So you can go flat water, big waves, swell. But as soon as you get on those swells, it really unleashes the sport, and you're effectively surfing on a foil endlessly. And that's kind of what it was for me. And that's one of the reasons I love this sport.
So Nick, you've been there, done it, learnt pretty much on everything. As a big water sports shop like ourselves at H2O Sports, we've got such a diverse range of customers, from paddleboarders, windsurfers, wakeboarders, surfers, and kiting. They all want to have a crack at it now. To start with, it was a bit ropey because not everyone was very good at it, but now on our shores, all the local pro riders and team guys are making it look effortlessly easy. So the attraction's there. Where, from your point of view, would people start?
I think the best place for anyone to start is with a lesson, or always with everything in life. If you start with a lesson, everything becomes easier. You don't go skiing and launch yourself off the first black run. You do start and you progress.
We're going to use skydiving as an example.
Yeah, I don't know. And there are a few places around the UK that offer lessons. You can either go on group lessons or one-to-ones. I think any of those are really good. And then, I run my clinics, and they run from people that are literally first time on the water to...
we sent a few people to you, actually.
Yeah, to experienced windsurfers, kiters, so quite a diverse group. And actually, everyone learns pretty quickly. Yeah. And within a weekend, you can be up and foiling, and pretty consistently foiling, depending on your previous experience and ability. And then once you've done your initial learning, then the education from that initial session or day or weekend gives you a lot of confidence in then what to buy, because that's kind of the next thing is, what do you buy? Yeah.
Now, we know ourselves probably from the range of customers we speak to, there's a couple of types of people out there. There's the water sports savvy already that you probably know yourself if you can crack on with it and getting the right gear in the right conditions and the water safety. And obviously some of our customers that just maybe paddleboard or haven't done any wind related sports are going to certainly need lessons to begin with. A lot of people ask about learning to foil first behind a boat on a jet ski. Does that type of thing help in your experience?
Yeah, I think definitely any foil experience is going to help, whether that's in a boat or a surfboard or
once you get up, you know what to do with it. Exactly.
So the thing with wing foiling is a lot of windsurfers will get on it and they'll expect to lean against it, and they kind of grab at it quite a lot. The surf foilers take to it really easily because they're already used to standing on a surfboard with a foil. And equally, it is a great thing to do to either get on an e-foil, get out there on an e-foil.
Had a few of those around here now.
Or get out there behind the boat. There is no better experience than just getting on it and learning that feel of the foil, because all the foils are similar in the way they work.
Yeah.
So that is, it's definitely an advantage to do that.
And for our paddleboarders, a lot of people have been using this as their engine now. So obviously, as we quite quickly realised, paddleboarding, when it's windy, it's not much fun. So arrows have got the eye rig out, but straight away people are drawn to the the new wings from this sport to power their SUPs, some without centre fins, or that drift stopper you can get from Fanatic. Does that help as well as far as moving forward?
I think that really depends on the person. If I have an experienced windsurfer,
Yes.
I wouldn't put them on a SUP. If they're on my clinic, I'd put them straight onto the foil.
Yep.
And it's a bit of a crash and burn experience, but it's a massively steep learning curve, learning to foil. Yeah, if there's somebody that's just come from paddleboarding,
Yeah.
they need to learn all, everything about the wind and the sea state and angles and just how to fly the wing.
Yeah.
It is pretty easy. I can give it to my 8-year-old kid, and within 2 or 3 minutes he can fly it and steadily control it.
Yeah.
But if you're coming from just nothing, no wind experience, then actually getting on the SUP is a really great idea. And also, if it's just cranking at 30 knots and you still want to go and give it a go, just put it on the paddleboard.
Yeah, a bit like windsurfing, I suppose. You start learning the light wind side of things and the uppull and the secure position first, or you go straight in with the beach start and give it a go.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the wing foil, the actual wing. This is the duotone unit. It's a very traditional wing in terms of the fact it's got a blow-up leading edge and a blow-up strut. The handles are very simple, and this is just the simplest form of an engine to use on the water. The beauty of the sport, as we've discussed earlier, is the fact that you can get it out and you can pump it up in 2 minutes and be on the water. So on here, you always have your handle on the front, which is the handle you hold on to when you're surfing. Your front handle, always your front handle, and then this middle handle on the unit is just kind of for handling and coming out of jives, etc. And then your back handle, which is obviously your power handle. Nice thing about these, are very balanced, super powerful, super stiff. So always look for a really stiff wing. And obviously the windows are a must. I can't believe people don't put windows in them. It seems absolutely madness because, let's face it, you have a pretty dangerous thing on the bottom of your board with swimmers around, so you've got to be careful. And then if we move on from the unit, which is kind of your free ride wave wing, you move on to the duotone Echo. Now this is their second version of their boomed wing. It's I think it's the only boomed wing in the world, and this is something which windsurfers have loved, absolutely loved, because straight away you grab the boom and you go, I am windsurfing, and it's very familiar, and the handling, the jibing, tacking, all very simple. And the other massive benefit is you just know where it is. So no matter when you come out of a maneuver, a jibe, tack, jump, spinning around, whatever, you just grab the boom. So there's no searching for the handle, which has been really, really nice. And also the other thing, if it gets windy, the centre of effort moves back in the wing, you just move your hands back an inch. And also if you're lighter, you're going to hold the wing further forward. So the lighter you are, the further the centre of effort will be forward. Heavier you are, the more you shoot in, the more that centre of effort moves backwards, the more your hands move back. So no matter what, the handles as such are never in the wrong place. Real benefit of the boom. And obviously you've still got the windows, and you have the adjustable outhaul, which allows you to actually adjust the power. Usually the only way to adjust the power of the wing is with the stiffness. So the higher the PSI, the more power you have in the wing, the less it is, the more it bends in half and opens like a leech of a windsurfing sail. So one of the biggest questions I get asked is, what size wing do you want? Well, for me it's a 5 metre. If you're going for one wing, it's a 5 metre. That does me from, I say, 11 knots to 20 to 22 knots, which is generally the conditions we go winging in. If you are having 2 wings, you go for the 6 metre and the 4 metre. That then covers you from 10 knots all the way up to 25 knots. And then clearly, if you're adding the 3.3 to that as well, then it takes you up to the 30 knot range, 30 knot plus even. So you kind of have it all pretty sewn up with just 2 or 3 wings, which is pretty awesome. The wind range is pretty amazing in them. So many people seem to get really confused with, Nick, what board do I buy? Well, it's really simple for me. These are what I teach on. Many people turn up on my clinics with way too small a board, and it'll have beveled edges, and it'll be really rocky underneath. You just want a big board. That's all there is to it. You want a big, short, fat board. So this, I think, is 142 litres, and I haven't had anyone that struggled on these. Everyone has been up within a day on these boards. Now, so if a windsurfing friend comes to me, Nick, what size board do I need? If they're a good windsurfer, you go for 10 to 20 litres more than their weight. So if they turn up, and clearly if they're 80 kilos, you need to be learning on a 90 to 100 litre board. If someone with less experience, then you've got to be looking at plus 30 to 50 litres on top of their body weight. It really does depend on how much water sports that person has done. Clearly, a professional kite surfer is not going to need as big a board as someone that's coming from maybe a paddleboard background. So quickly, the other problem is you progress at such a fast rate. So you don't really want to go out and buy a 140 litre board if you're 80 kilos, because within 2 weeks, literally within 5 to 10 sessions, that board's going to be too big. So either rent them or find a nice shop that will lend you one or lease one or something, some way in which you can avoid buying the super big boards, because really you want to be getting into the 100 litre board. They then become manageable all the way through the range, and then you can keep it for a year. And then, so this is actually my board. This is a 5 foot, 75 litre, so that's, roughly 10 litres less than my body weight. And this is kind of my go-to. This does me for everything. I can just about float on this, and I'll take this my 6 metre on a nice light wind day, but I'll also take it with my 2.6 when it's blowing 35, 40 knots off the seafront. I've really looked at many different boards. I've had them all the way down to 30 litres, and although they are quite nice once you're up, they are a total nightmare to get out in the surf on them, because really you want them when it's big surf, big waves, and you literally end up swimming out 100 meters before it's deep enough, because of course you're sinking up to your up to your chest. Then you've got your meter of foil on the bottom, then you've got the trough of the wave as well. So they became a bit of a nightmare, and something around this, either the 4.8 55 litre or the 5 foot 75 litre has been perfect for myself. Okay, so if we get to the foils, this is kind of the business end of it. This is the important part, the thing that actually gets more people chatting and discussing and arguing, and it's very much a little bit of an opinion-based thing, and a bit of a dark art, it seems, developing these foils. Now, Fnatic make 2 ranges of foils, and actually, I can hand on heart say Fnatic have nailed it this year in the fact that they kept it simple. There's so many brands out there that have not kept it simple, and they have the Aero range, the Aero surf foil, which is this one. Now this is the one I teach people on. This is actually 2,500, so this is huge. Just massively stable, and you'll see it's got this lovely curve on it. Helps, keeps it, allows it to turn a little bit. But also, if you look at the thickness of it, the thickness gives it so much stability and allows it to actually run at quite low speeds, which is really good when you're learning. So there's a few things to consider. The mast length, obviously this is a 75 centimetre. This is a standard length. I always recommend the 90. I just think there's no reason not to have that extra little bit of leeway when you're on the water. I know, even down here in pool, the smaller mast is sometimes quite good, or if you're launching through the surf, the smaller foil is quite good, allows you to get on it earlier. But in general terms, riding, the longer mast is better. It just seems to take nothing away and just gives you that extra room. No one likes to breach out the top, and it seems to be easier. The length of fuselage, Fnatic's come with 2 lengths. I'd always go for the longer length. Why make it harder? The shorter it is, the more they say the better it is for pumping, but in reality it's just less stable or more stable. Personally, I like more stable. And then the size of the tail wing, if it's longer, obviously that kind of magnifies the size of the tail wing. So the longer it is, the smaller the tail wing you can have. Personally, I also like quite a large tail wing. I want it to be stable. I want it to be able to lock into it and actually just travel fast on it in the direction I want to go. So I'd always kind of lean on the longer fuselage, slightly larger tail wing, and also the position it is on the mast. So you'll see a lot of the surf foils, the foil is right tucked up behind under the front of the mast there. Now, for me, that's a big mistake. A lot of the brands are guilty of just selling you all the wingers surf foils, which is not ideal. You do need the wingspan for it to actually have some sort of stability, and you need that distance in front of the mast, but also for more stability. and that actually will allow you to have a really nice flowing easy foil. Then we have the high aspect range. Now this is where, this is what I love. If anyone asks me, you know, Nick, what foil do I buy? I'd nearly always throw them straight onto the high aspect. It's simple, you know, it's got a smaller cord, it's much thinner. As you look down the, you look down the wing, it's a much thinner, faster wing, and you still have the width, so it still gives you the sideways stability which we need coming into a jibe, out of a jibe. You let go of the wing, your feet aren't quite in the right place, and it's just very forgiving but fast, and it's a really nice wing, you know, good all-round wing. Size wise, you can't go far wrong with the 1500. If you're my size, 80 kilos, you jump on a board, the 1500 seems to be the go-to for everyone. I'd never use anything bigger than the 1500 personally. My wings are 1200, 1400 I think. So yeah, that sort of size wing is a great intro. You can one wing it, you know, you don't need a selection. They sell a selection, but that's for different size people, not necessarily for different conditions. So I think if I was having one, I'd probably have the 1500 or the 1250, and either one of those would do me. You know, 1500 for the summer, 1250 for the winter. You set up, it's easy, simple. So another question I get a lot and seems to create endless debate is, Nick, where in the track do I put my foil? And it's one for you to work out actually. You know, if in doubt, stick it in the middle. Okay, but they are very different. People put different brands in different boards, and people are clearly different body weights. So if I stick my kids on it at 40 kilos, they're gonna, I'll put it all the way at the back. You know, but for myself, I put it, you know, so generally mid to front. Seems to be the place where I go, but to be honest, it is a bit of a trial and error for yourself, for your body weight, your size board. But yeah, if you're not sure, stick it in the middle. So with the foot straps, we clearly when you buy your winging board or your learn to wing, you're going to learn without foot straps. So take them off. And the best thing, or one of the greatest things for learning where to put your feet, is if in doubt, put them somewhere where the foot straps are, because they're generally going to be tested and in roughly the right place. And then obviously if you put your foil right at the front and you like your board to just pivot up and down a little bit more, then you're going to have to put your foot straps slightly further forward. If you are surfing, you might want your feet further apart, so you have them further apart. But generally, same again, without being on your board, without being your body weight on your foil, it's difficult to tell you where to put your foot straps. Stick them in the middle, work it out yourself.
So Nick, thanks for your time today. I feel like your wealth of knowledge and experience, we can get it out to everybody who's interested. If they're interested in lessons and moving forward, you can get in contact with us and we can put you in contact with Nick. He's a busy man. We wish you all the best with your coaching of the Japanese Olympic team, his main job role when he's not winging around the UK.
Thank you very much. Thank you.